All right, ladies and gents, welcome to some low Elo Legends, but it's low Elo Islands. I would say this is probably the map where you can be confused the most if you're new to the game. Because you work so hard at learning, God, that scout's running through all the goats. You work so hard at learning certain things you need to do to get started in Age of Empires 2 game, and then you can't even scout the enemy, and you could run into some issues. So I like low Elo Islands for two reasons. I think, first off, I guess some players do pick maps like this because they want to be strategists on a map that other people don't understand. There's something nice about that, right? You practice these types of maps. Hey, Red, are you going to make a house? Oh, Red did make a house. Okay. The other reason I like it is because I feel like at this Elo, as Red must have forgotten about this villager. It's like he can't see the villager behind the TC. But the other thing about this Elo is that they're good enough to figure it out, right? Whether it's transporting or making a little bit of navy, whether it's making fortifications on the shoreline, I feel like these guys, they might be at a point where they're still struggling in their career. Like Red isn't setting gather points at all, by the way. There's no gather point from the TC set onto resources. So I'm a little worried for Red, but yeah, I guess we'll find out, right? I don't know how to say these names too well. We have Letermo over here. And honestly, this is the first game that I'm casting today on my low Elo day. I have to say the lack of a gather point is honestly really tilting me. Or not tilting, but it's like, it's giving me anxiety that I didn't show up to experience here today. Like, oh, even just a little bit of idle time. All that extra hard work you've got to do, Red. Clearly Red has set a gather point, right? Like, Red has set a gather point because of how the villager arrives here, right? If there was no gather point, the villager would be, I think, right in the middle. It wouldn't move at all. I don't know how that works. But anyways, got the houses down. We'll see if Red will set gather points later on. Red is all about the food. Red is going to make a lumber camp. I like it. And then I looked at their profiles, and Fakud has picked Vikings here, and this is the player that has played Islands a couple times in a row over the last couple days. Seems like a player, and maybe a lot of viewers can relate to this, who doesn't grind out games. Has played like 3 games in 3 days. They've all been Islands, according to the profile. So might only have, some time for one game. Might have other responsibilities, things to do, work, family, etc. I don't know. Maybe he spends all his time doing absolutely nothing as well. We have no choice but to just speculate here. But so far, Red has done a slightly better job with build production. But both players have placed a lumber camp, which I like to see. Now, you're going to see Red place a mill here, and this is not out of the ordinary for this Elo. And this is not out of the ordinary to do this if you are playing any map but Islands. Now, I haven't made a video on it, but I've also talked about it in maybe dozens and dozens of casts. What you should do on Islands, the best thing you can do, and I'll eventually get to a video on it, just give me 6 years, is you send 4 or 5 to wood, like this is perfect, and you do not mill in Dark Age. Not on a water map. When there's water, you want to use wood, and you want to place a dock, and then you want to use all that wood then to add fishing ships. And you can delay that mill till later. The reason for that is right now, both players have 1 eco building. So they're capped at how fast they can produce economy, because their town center only produces villagers so quickly. And so if you add a dock, you can be adding fishing ships and villagers at the same time. Whether you're behind in eco because you had a rough start in the game, or maybe you're even on economy, it allows you to get a really good eco, and it's definitely worth the investment, trust me. Even if you make 4 fishing ships and then lose them in early feudal age to a windstorm, because that happens, a typhoon, doesn't matter. Not that it happens in Age of Empires 2, but it's actually worth it for your economy. What I love about fishing ships is that for you low Elo players out there, you don't really need to stress too much about paying attention to them. It's not like a farm which has to be refreshed and whatnot. They're gonna move around for the most part and bring in lots of food. So neither player has done that, and both players could improve on those things. But we have 19 villagers for both. And okay, now Blue has gone for a dock. Okay, so Blue understands dock. Both players also using the mill for the berries, but also for the boars. Red. Oh, no. What are the chances? Red has actually scouted so well, and the boar is hiding. I mean, I would too if I was going to be shot by a million arrows and then eaten against my will. I would probably hide as well, but yeah, the boar is hiding back there. I don't know if red is manually scouting, but I would say like maybe 85% of the island's been scouted. And still that boar has not been found. It's a bit interesting. I don't know if any of my live viewers here have any insight as to why players are not setting gather points here. I think I've seen in YouTube comments that people like to know where their villagers are. This is why straggler trees are important, though. Like, if you're going to do a bunch of different things and you want to make sure you know where your villagers are, send them to a straggler tree, and then you can just pull them off as straggler trees. Doesn't seem like a lot, and I know a lot of this idle time is because of these villagers right here, as red is sending villagers around the different tasks. But you definitely want to make sure that you're cutting down on the idle time where you can. That said, it's not too bad. And blue is on the way to the next stage before even finishing this boar. And now we get to really see how experienced blue is on islands. So the best thing that you can do on islands is to go out and control the sea. If they have fishing ships, you kill their fishing ships. If they don't have fishing ships, you protect your own. If they don't have navy, you can fully surround them, and it becomes very complicated for them to ever solve that problem. Interesting house placement for red. Red's base definitely has that cute factor going for it. I definitely give red the... I give red the edge in terms of the base rating. In terms of look, you know? I guess these houses were necessary. I'm kind of disappointed we're not seeing houses in the line still, but that's fine. And yeah, I think red is just like, well, the enemy doesn't see me. I don't see the enemy. Good job finding the boar. And it looks like a pretty eco-friendly fast castle build here for red. It was going to see that blue is in feudal age and think, well, what can he do with that? And what will blue do with that? Like, yes, blue has played islands a bunch of times, but it doesn't seem like blue necessarily has the strongest plan. Now, what you could do is you could place your second dock in a position where, okay, maybe we'll see another dock over here, but like the second dock here or even the second dock here is in a position where you can take more fish. But we do have navy for blue. Wow, I'm interested to see this. We do actually have navy. It's not a lot. We just have one galley. And then blue's thinking, I'm going to fish on the back and be extra safe, which I also like. Red on the way to feudal age. Can't create villagers throughout this time. So right now you're like, well, red has the eco lead. Well, won't be the case. As blue will have fishing ships and the villagers. And red is playing as Koreans. And they have good navy. But we've yet to see a dock for red. They also have good towers. So if you ever need to get back on water, you could tower the shoreline. But I'm kind of expecting red to just be really confused. Then again, blue's not really making a lot of navy. Now blue's making a tower on the shoreline. Now this is adorable. Towers on the shorelines. Guys, do you remember that cast of mine? I think it was 1.5 years, 2 years ago. It's on YouTube somewhere. Where someone walled in their entire island with palisade walls. Only low elo. But in blue's mind, blue's like, this area is very important. Darkness is scary. Just stare at this for a second and forget about what I'm saying. There's a lot of unknown out there, right? And you don't know how experienced your opponent is. And I think that low elo players normally lack faith in themselves and lack confidence. So blue's just like, ooh, man, I don't know if this one galley is enough. And here I thought blue was going to be offensive with it. No, not really. Not really. But did have the fishing ships, which I like. And seems to be making houses maybe for vision on the shoreline. That's actually something high-level players do. And not only for vision, but if they were to patrol in a navy on attack stance, it would actually attack that house there. We have a blacksmith. We have a market. If this wasn't islands, I would say red is the better player here. Like, red's eco balance is actually really good. Really good timing on the buildings, too. Just a little bit away from being able to go up to Castle Age. Look at the farm investment. Blue is fishing, of course. And notice how blue didn't need a single farm. It could just rely on the fishing ships. Will sadly need to wait for these buildings to complete, but then blue will be on the way up as well. Whoa, what the? Why are you selling stone for? Red. Hold on a second. Okay, so I have to go back to the point before red used the market. Okay. All right. So right here, red sold food, right? You need these 2 buildings or some others, but this works. 800 food and 200 gold. I'm going to assume that red misclicked here at the market. I'm just going to assume there was like a hotkey or something. Because the stone disappeared for some reason. And the stone was sold. Actually, or was that first? Oh, he sold stone first, and maybe that was a mistake. Yeah, I'm going to say that was a misclick. Red did not need to sell the stone. Could always mine it back. Koreans do stone mine a little bit faster, but I think bought food, sold food. A couple misclicks there at the market for red. Blue being pretty casual about things right now. Not really in a rush, apparently. There's plenty of villagers around that could have helped with the market, but this guy's like, nope, this is my job. And there we go. On the way to Castle Age. Remember, blue is the player who's now making a barracks. Wow. Who has played islands. When I looked at red's profile, at least recently, I did not see any islands. I'm going to acknowledge this because a few people have made the joke already, and I know it's going to happen in the YouTube comments as well. In fact, the people who would make those comments probably already commented it the second they saw it was islands. Ha ha, funny, funny, neutral archer ranges, blah, blah, blah. Okay? There's the joke. Everyone can laugh. Everyone can get it out of their system. Yes. The first time I ignored it, second time I ignored it, third time I saw it, and I said, okay, let's address this thing. Galley's now coming up for blue. Okay, so blue's thinking, let's fortify, let's protect. And we might even see more towers for blue with the way blue's thinking about this. Blue wants to make a tower and a dock over here. So blue's going like full island control, but in the long term. Interesting. Hey, one of the rare opportunities where heated shot would actually be useful later on. What is red going to do? Did red buy the stone back? Okay, red was using the market a lot. And red is going to go for 3 TC boom. Now, red, 4 TCs. Holy crap. Okay. Whoa. And is red setting gather points for new villagers yet? Because if these TCs do not have gather points, this is going to be so difficult for red. Let's see. Meanwhile, we have man-at-arms for some reason for blue. Doesn't feel like the right play. Okay, we're going to have a monastery as well. Sorry, I meant to pay attention to this. I believe red set a gather point now. I believe so. And yes. Okay, wait. Where are they going? Are they going to stand in another area and do nothing? Red just doesn't like to set gather points on a resource. You know, part of the reason why red might not do this. Let's see. Again, not going to a resource. I'm hoping he does with the other TCs. But part of the reason red might not do this is because red doesn't want to waste resources. Apart from, you know, misclicking at the market, that is. So I'll talk about this real quick. It's still okay to pull villagers off of wood or off of gold and off of stone and go do other things. If you are making, in particular, you want to send villagers to wood and pull them off of wood. Because if you have wood in your hands and make a mining camp or a mill or, you know, any eco building, right? They will drop off the res when they complete that building. A lot of people don't know this. I think that's part of the reason why people do this no man's land thing is because they don't want to waste any resources. So what I'm saying is you pull them off of wood, make a farm, boom, resources banked. It's the same with gold. Gold, stone, if you make a farm with villagers that are holding gold and stone, you don't have to drop off the resources. They actually drop off the resources when they complete a farm. And since players don't know that, they're like, oh, okay. Well, I don't want to waste res here. Big, big, big lands boom. Meanwhile, over here, you've got an early university here for blue. Here's the thing for blue. So blue has got this, has so much of this down, right? But I want to give blue some tips here real quick. So what the fish boom does is the fish boom gives you the food income to then boom out of TCs and then invest into farms. So I will say that, okay? Blue's Vikings starting to make longboats now. I like that. But you do probably want to consider a few farms here as well, Blue. You don't want to go just straight fish unless you've got a lot more docks. And I say docks simply for the efficiency aspect. Like, that's the only reason. And Blue goes longboat. Blue also clicking War Galley. So what War Galley does is that upgrades these. Doesn't actually have any effect on the longboats. Is it only farms, lumber camp, mills that drop off tip works for? Any eco building, including a farm. So yeah, mining camp, lumber camp, mill, TC, farm. I think those are the only things. It wouldn't be like, oh, I have wood in my hands and I'm going to build a castle. No, they don't drop it off when they finish that. Guys, what is Red's plan here? Like, I'm looking at Red, and Red's got a really big eco. And overall, Red's efficiency, way better than I expected after seeing this start. Okay, Red is going to make an outpost now. Red just bought food to make more villagers. That's an interesting thing to do when you're on a map that could have limited gold. We have outposts from Red. Provision, which is fine. Blue is getting ballistics, which is a relevant upgrade here. I like that. Okay, Blue still on 2 town centers. Worth noting that Blue does have one of the best civilizations for islands. Vikings, Italians, Portuguese, probably those are the top 3. Blue is making fish, which I still like to see. And Blue is also making longboats, but Red is going to come on to water. And oh boy, I hope we see turtles. The reason we don't see turtles a lot in high-level play, guys, is because they're really expensive and they take a lot of time to mass. But think about it. Red's got more than enough economy. Why not go turtle ships here? Now, you could go galleons as well. But look at Red. Getting upgrades that aren't even super relevant to the situation. Like iron casting, that is for melee units. That would just apply to the scout right here. Red's probably just like, why not? And, you know, Blue has had the potential to stop the enemy, but hasn't really taken advantage of it. It has moved out a little bit. Has 24 fishing ships, Blue, but only 44 villagers. It makes it a pretty even game, though. Okay, there's a relic here. I think Blue is going to transport a monk to get that. I don't know where the transport's coming out of, but capture age will allow me to click it once it's out. There it is. Yep. Okay, so here comes the monk. No. You have a relic in your hands, monk. Don't take the relic. Okay. Blue, I think, tried to drop off the relic and misclicked it and almost brought the monk with the relic into the transport. Red loves that market. Stop buying food, though. Stop buying food. It's not great because you have limited gold, right? I'm okay with the selling. I think that's good. And a little bit of buying's fine, but it's been about 1,000 food purchased at this point for a player who has pretty good food eco. Everything's very cramped for Red, I would say. Blue's a little more spread out. So then again, Blue doesn't have the efficiency with the lumber or anything. And we have a very important castle here. This is a very good castle. Now let's talk about what Red's doing. Red's going to make fires, okay? And the thing about fires, first off, does anyone know if Koreans get fast fire? Scalability is important here. But the thing about fires is that it's more of an early Castle Age thing. So, like, think of a knight, for example, okay? Compare fire to, like, knights with one upgrade in early castle. Very effective. Very effective, because that's before range units can mass. That's before there's fortifications, like castles. That's before the ranged units get massed. So I don't love the fire choice at this stage of the game. If this would have happened a while ago, would have been okay. But to be honest, as I say that, it's not like Blue has crazy numbers. If Blue didn't have the castle, the fires would be more than fine here. Why make more farms when you can just sell the wood and buy food, right? Well, the issue I have with buying food, I mean, I guess some of that gold you get is from selling the wood. It's just that it gets expensive, and you're using gold for that, right? If anything, you should want to sell wood and hold on to that gold. Okay, I'm wondering if Blue... Okay, Blue's monk is still thinking about it. He's tired from his long journey. Buying food again! Oh my god. Okay, it's not that bad. I'm freaking out. Calm down, T90. Calm down. The food price is expensive. Has Blue located Red's Island at all? Okay, can see a little bit. Can see the deer. And the deer are actually moving because there's villagers here. So that's an interesting touch. Red does not see any of this. Red is getting relevant upgrades, though. Is getting careening. And we are going to see more turtles. And we are going to see a transport as well for Red. So, I'll be honest. Both players have surprised me. Red might not have docked at the start. But Red's land boom was very good. And now Red is making a pretty diverse army comp or navy comp. And then Blue, I think, is going for the correct units. Is going for the ranged units, which you should want to do with Vikings. And I would just say go full longboats from here and see how it happens. I'm trying to look at chat. See if Koreans get fast fire ship. It doesn't look like I got an answer on that. Because I'm not sure. I know they get great galleons. I know they don't get heavy demo. So it feels like they should get fast fire. Turtle ships are no joke. You can also upgrade them to elite, just like you can with the longboats. Here comes Blue. Now, this is going to be funny. Blue's trying to control the neutral islands. Oh, okay. I thought Blue was going to go here. Blue will be an imp where Bracer is accessible. Chemistry, a lot of important upgrades. Let's see if Red buys the food or just waits and clicks up to the Imperial Age. And go up to imp. Go up to Imp! Imp! Oh, Red's making a TC and a siege workshop. Huh. Okay. So that's where, this is where Red's focus is. That was the first blood right there. That was the very first kill of the game. And now Red's stressed out. First thing Blue does is click conscription and then chieftains. And chieftain gives Viking infantry additional bonus damage against cav. Koreans have notorious for the worst cav in the game. Not to mention this is islands, so I'm not sure if that upgrade is necessarily the upgrade you'd want to spend your resources on here. Blue. But at least Bod Canero applies, and at least chemistry applies. And speaking of upgrades applying, we now have heated shot, people. And I make jokes about heated shot because, like, everyone researches heated shot at low elo, mistakenly thinking it's chemistry. But heated shot means your TCs and or not your TCs, sorry. The arrow fire from your castles and towers do more damage against ships. And Red completely clears Blue, but there's also a castle here. And it's funny to me, but the mangonels are actually benefiting Blue right now. As Red is on the way to Imp and backs away, but that's like a warning call, I think, for Blue. For Blue and for Red. Red's going to see this. I think Red might make a castle on this island. That would actually be the play, is make a castle on this island. And then in the next stage, you can make trips. So, guys, I've seen low elo islands before, and I am impressed from both of them. A bit stubborn from Blue to maybe not make farms earlier, but 33 fishing ships is screw that. I don't need farms. And Blue is still making more fishing ships, but also is making everything else. Now, Blue's getting Galleon, and Galleon does not apply to the longboats. What you would want is elite longboat. The water tech trees can be a little confusing. Then elite cannon galleon's nice. There's a Treb here, which is currently trebbing all this, so maybe I take back my idea about the castle. Okay, there's heated shot for Blue. And hoardings, wow, which will keep the castle up. So I think Blue is kind of just clicking every technology they could think of, but at the same time, about 60% of these techs are hugely relevant here. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see pikemen and man-at-arms for Red. I'm not sure if that's going to be relevant here. It would be relevant if Red were to try to transport. Now, both players could have so easily done that. So that's my tip. If you guys are, like, worried on water, or maybe you're ahead on water and you're thinking on how you can get a bigger lead, just send a transport with villagers to the side and get a landing in. And I'm sure they're going to commit everything to trying to defend from that. Okay, these villagers are repairing the TC. Supplies for Red. Getting Bracer now. Now, this does not apply to the fires. You would need to get Fast Fire Ship, which is on the second page of the dock, which might be hard to see. I worry for Red. If Blue gets a bit more in the way of these longboats, this is going to be impossible. Is very focused on making Trebs right now. And I think there's a chance that the Trebs can reach this castle from the side. I'm not sure, though. But blue has it right. Just fall back to your castles and then keep your ships massed. The first person who transports land units in the opponent island wins, in my opinion. Not at this stage, though. Like, at this stage, there's fortifications, but even just, like, a little bit would be so helpful to distract. The thing is, you still need to have capable navy. And that is not the case right now for red, though. We'll see if I'm wrong on that. We have elite cannon galleon coming in. And also, red's like, what else can I make on water? What else would be helpful for me? And you look at red's docks. We've got trade cogs, people. We've got trade cogs. So, maybe confused it with the demo ship. Maybe just didn't know what that was and decided to add one. I don't think we're going to be seeing a trade heist here, but that could be what's on the cards. As we have elite longboat now for blue. As well as architecture, which gives even more HP to these castles. That's crazy. 7,000 HP. As blue transports these two trebuchets to the island. And has elite longboat in just a second. These villagers are like, huh? You killed my home! And they get upset. But yeah, we know that's not going to work out. For the villagers and also for the trebs. I don't know why blue made berserks and transported it over, but that's funny. Now, that's a lot of elite cannon galleons. And execution is going to be important here. Red does still have more navy, and now red's got the trebs from the shoreline. Red, a little more assertive, I guess you could say. A little more aggressive than blue. Blue, what you really need is like 5 docks on the front. Like what red did here was so nice. And a big reason I was thinking blue was going to win this was because of the castle positions, but it's not going to last very long. As blue now says, okay, I'm going to need my own elite cannon galleons. I have a feeling that this could be an issue for blue. The fact that a lot of the production is coming in from far away is going to be an issue. No production from here. There is production from here. But look at how many ships are in that queue. And look at this fight now. We have regular fire ships going in against the longboats. But it does push blue back. I mean, red is just going for it. There's blood in the water, and red is going for it. Red is hungry for the victory, and with that many cannon galleons, red is going to take down that castle. Is still losing so many ships. The KD is so much better for blue, but the positioning for red looking much better now in the long term. Production buildings for blue could change so much. And don't get too excited for red, because it's very possible red could lose all these cannon galleons to the longboats. With a little bit of micro here, blue could kill everything. We know the longboats are shredding the fires. And cannon galleons are mainly good against, not navy, sorry, buildings. And all that red has queued up is cannon galleons. Ah! Oh, send in the trade cog! Send in the trade cog! It's stuck. Okay, so red realizes this is a bit of an issue and is making more fires. The trade cog goes down. I'm curious if blue wants to run in here, because they do damage these cannon galleons. Problem is the firing speed. There's a lot of them, and longboats tend to stack. It feels like this is still worth it for blue, despite taking many losses. Cannon galleons are a more expensive ship. This is a duel. And blue says, you know what? I need to back away. And I'm going to add my own cannon galleons. It's going to send one over here, maybe, to start ranging the wood line. Red is also still getting technologies that would apply to land units, but there's been no transport. And, again, I don't know if Koreans get fast fire. If someone responded, I still have no clue. But right now, it seems like blue has the better units out on the fields. Cannon galleons hitting the cannon galleons. Now these cannon galleons push back. This is some crazy micro. And actually, look at the shots there from red and the micro from blue. But guys, think of it like it's a land game. What would I be talking about? I'd be talking about barracks. I'd be talking about stables. I'd be talking about ranges. Just production. Production is huge. For blue, are you... No, blue's not out of wood, but it kind of looked like blue is out of wood. Blue has 0 on wood, probably because of the micro. And blue is really struggling with this. The fishing ships will distract a little bit. It is not as if blue cannot afford to make more docks. Just has not been focusing on this. And blue, hey, there we go. So at the moment that blue runs out of wood, blue now decides to make docks. Probably like, well, thank God Viking docks are cheaper, right? And this is where red should go for the kill. Also, red could transport and place castles here. Castles or towers would be good. They do. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry. I like say things and I'm like, chat, help me. And then I wouldn't read chat like an idiot. I'm sorry. So the thing is, fast fire ship is on the second page. And I'm not sure if anything that red has made is on the second page of the dock yet. I feel like cannon galleons are, so red has looked there. But, yeah, it's on the second page of the dock, so it's probably something red has forgotten to look for. So if blue is constantly moving, the cannon galleons are going to really struggle to hit. But that has not been the case in some of these engagements. Fast fire would make such a big difference, but we have more docks for red, and we have a transport ship. But blue means serious business, but blue needs wood. Where did the vills go? Oh my god! Oh my god, blue transported the vills. Blue says, screw my wood, I'll take your wood. And red sees this. Red is not happy about this, but red also has trebs. So, I mean, okay, so I like the idea, but I would prefer you make barracks or make buildings and make army over here than drop a castle when you know they have trebs. My guess is at this stage, blue is forgotten. And I can tell you that red has forgotten as well, because red refuses to use them, and red is panicking, and red is making skirmishers and pikemen and throwing it in here, and has not moved in at all with anything, and still no siege. Blue's castle will be worth it here. A bomber cannon, oh my god! Low elo's crazy, man. The panic. Castle dropping stresses people out so much. Red, you could do this. Red is looking right now, and red's thinking, I need to find something to kill, or I'm dead to this. And you know what? If blue makes enough berserks, this is no joke. If blue gets like 15 berserks, then the trebs can't even do anything. I think that move might win blue the game, but blue hasn't chopped the tree in like an hour, which is an exaggeration, obviously, as you see that how much time we've been in the game. But okay, now red's pushing back blue on water. Oh, there's so many things red could be doing differently right now. Best thing you can do here is drop a castle right here, protect your trebs and move in. Take the trees over here, move your villagers away. Is kind of doing that. It's like both of their, like, I don't know how to explain this except by saying, you guys know how sometimes you have an order in the game, you have a plan, but then that plan gets ruined and then you just freeze up and you don't know what the crap's going on. Whether it's against the AI or humans, whatever. I think most people know what I'm talking about. You just freeze up. Just completely freeze, and the chaos is too much for you. Well, that's exactly what we're seeing here. And so, for blue, it's clearly happened because blue hasn't chopped trees. Like, blue's had nothing on wood. Blue can't actually make any more ships. Might not need any more ships. For red, it's happened because red didn't realize the situation here with the trebuchets, and now we have elite berserks running in, and he actually is gonna, he doesn't have anything to counter that. A castle drop, like that castle there, in this situation, if it was two mid-elo or higher elo players, is a throw. But at low elo, take your risks, see what happens. And red is now clicking crossbowman and clicking elite skirm and thinking, oh yeah, I didn't have those upgrades. Now blue's getting berserker gang, so these things even heal up all the unique techs. Holy crap. And if I know red, guys, red is a fighter, okay? Red is a fighter. Red has a lot of resources. We just saw that red still remembers the market exists. So I think red could get some gold. And red still could win on water because blue's not chopping trees. Okay, blue is now chopping some trees, but doesn't have the wood to be able to make a lumber camp. That's how bad the situation is. Okay, actually, he can't make it up. Is now going to chop the trees on the forward island. And now red has looked over here, and red's like, oh yeah, I have trebs. And now blue is focused on wood and not taking out the trebs. And now we're going to see the castle go down for blue, I think. Remember, it's got 7,000 HP, right? Also, blue doesn't have the castle age armor, and you really need to get armor on berserks. These things are very weak against arrow fire, so it's actually the TCs that were doing the damage there. Red probably doesn't know that Korean Knights are some of the worst in the game. So now Chieftains is actually working for Blue, which is kind of funny. But now Blue is going to repair the transport ship. I mean, I would. If you're going to get into a ship when there's navies out there, you probably want to repair it. And one villager's leaving them. What's happening? That has to be a misclick, right? I feel like Blue's going to drop another castle. I just feel as though Blue's going to drop another castle here, even though it makes no sense. Okay, here goes one villager. I think we tried to send more. These 15 villagers have been stranded. And Blue probably has noticed now, like, what is this? And now Red is sending 5 villagers to the same island. And meanwhile, these villagers are fighting the enemy knight. And these villagers are going to get hit by Navy. And they had no clue what was happening here. But Red notices this. And Red might even keep these villagers alive because Red is going to probably clear up Blue's Navy. Meanwhile, the villagers are escaping into the transport ship. There they go. But Blue, you have to move the transport ship. I know they're on sand, but they will actually drown. Just Age of Empires things. Oh, no! Oh, no! This villager's like, I will do it. I don't need my friends and family. Fishing ships are dying tonight. This is crazy. And that's one tower. Now Red sees this, and Red's like, we don't like that. Sorry. And I think after a lot of crazy stuff, as the monastery is about to eject the relics for Red, and Red has no clue, I think that Red can win the game from here. What a crazy, 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 crazy game this is. So fun, dude. So fun to watch. Imagine this is, well, maybe not so fun for Blue at the moment, but this has been back and forth. This has been a great Islands game. And I would say make a tower here or a castle here if you're Red. You've certainly got the stone for it. And focus now on taking their land. Now, what you could do, especially since you took out, I think, 3 castles from Blue this game, Blue might not have one at home. So you could actually land and then drop a castle and do exactly what Blue did to you. If Blue is going to drop a castle here, this is... I've seen some off decisions in this game. I have to question this one more than all of them, because you see the cannon galleons are there. You know what the cannon galleons can do. If anything, I'd say drop a castle somewhere safe. The panic has set in for Blue, who's clicking Navy, is trying to catch up, but is clicking them in awkward positions. And you've got to think that Red is going to take that castle out there. And this was super winnable for both players. Both players have had a bit of a throw in them here at times. And yeah, there that goes for Blue. And I think the player who tends to play Islands, Faku, the player who has picked Islands a couple times in a row, last couple games over this week, has kind of got bested. Not completely, but there's 3 times the amount of military for Red. Red also has more production, which I think is key here. Red doesn't have the relics anymore, which is kind of funny because of the longboats there. But yeah, Red is just going to loop his way around, take out the docks slowly, fully surround Blue. Blue, you need to have a desperation moment here where you add more docks. Also, maybe a lumber camp, you know? A lumber camp would make sense. A siege workshop. Double siege workshop. Imagine how many siege workshops you could build if you had 2 lumber camps here. Just imagine the wood income. I just want you to think about that. Blue's sitting here like, well, I don't want to resign with 3,000 gold. That would suck. And so, Blue's actually pop-capped at the moment. Has to make houses too. Still no new docks. Just producing out of this one single dock. And Red also banking resources. Blue's going for onager. So Blue is like, we might not win this game, but we are going to defend our people with what we have. And Blue is going to go for onager, I think, to try and hit the ships from the shoreline. Now, if you have siege onager, which Vikings don't, siege onager is actually pretty good against Navy. But it still brings it back to, is that actually going to free up your islands to a point where you can then have the wood to dock, and then take the water back. It feels more realistic when you've got the space to just dock with these resources. Very similar to what Red did. Red got pushed back on water, and then what did Red do? Red produced more. Now, red noticed this university was going down. And he's like, I want my people to be educated. So at some point, red noticed that. And is now going over here with the cavalier to attack the longboats. And that is not going to work. Their swords are not long enough. They just keep getting shot with fiery arrows and standing there like, why did we get assigned this job? Like, we should be infantry. We're Koreans. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, blue's navy over here. Not bad. I think red's going to loop around to it, though. And yeah, well played from red. Really well played. And red has basically two groups. I guess you could call it three. It's going to meet up with this one. And blue has now been surrounded. Are they fast fire ships? No, they're fire ships, but it's certainly better than onagers. Now, onager move, like we said, just reeks of desperation. Now, what's funny is the cannon galleons are all attacking the scout. Is this intentional right now? That is auto scout, guys. Oh, no, it died. Okay, red noticed it. That was funny. Okay, you can see how it is awkward with the cannon galleons to take out the ships, but galleons, which we're maybe not going to see from red in this game, would do the trick. Now, if blue could make it back on red's island somehow, I still feel like there's a chance, but blue hates making lumber camps, and blue hates making docks. And I don't really choose favorites in games, but my God, I hope red wins this game, because blue, you got to make a lumber camp. You got to spend your wood. You got to redock. Is going to get the relics again, though. Red is obviously all over blue, and it's easy to look like you're making poor decisions when you are down and out. Monk went over there for some reason, maybe to try and preach to the enemy, and the onager can't quite range anything here. Okay, there you go. It goes down. Meanwhile, the university is still getting shut up, so I'm just curious if this bothers red, or if red's just going to give up on it. We haven't seen the navy go over there, so. And blue calls the GG, taps out, and realizes, he says, no more time. I love it when I see this. I love it when I see this. This happens semi-frequently with low elo. It's so funny. Blue's like, yeah, actually, I just ran out of time. I'm a very productive member of society. So, yeah, I got to go, like, work. I got to pick up my kids from school. I could have played on more, though. Yeah, definitely had a chance in this game. So, you lucked out. I just ran out of time. GG. This ended at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds. So, 11s for that response there from blue. Did red say anything to that? Let me just look into the game here. Sometimes you can see additional chat. Anything? Nothing. No conversation whatsoever. To be honest, guys, both players could have thrown this game. Do you remember that instance where blue dropped the castle and I said, oh, just use your trebs. Oh, it's completely fine. Oh, this is bad for blue. Well, it actually worked out for blue. Even though blue lost the castle, I think it worked out for blue. What didn't work out for blue is that blue seemed to have like 4 separate locations for the docks. We had the central dock. We had the eastern dock. We had the southern dock. We had the western dock. Okay? But there was no group of docks. There was none of that. And like, the lack of lumber camps was very astounding. I get blue was a little tunnel visioned and had like 40 villagers that ran out of wood. So clearly blue wasn't really looking at the economy all of the Imperial Age. But when you get to here and you get the wood, it's still doable. Now, blue didn't feel like it was. Or maybe blue knew, oh, I'm going to run out of time. Because it really feels like if you're going to run out of time, making onager and sitting back and trying to kill ships is a great way to save time. But I still think, you know, with the lack of commitment from red to get to 200 population with these resources, I think blue could have done something. Both players could have committed a little bit more onto water there. But at 730 elo, it was a really good game. And I'm very happy with what we saw there. Because sometimes on islands, it's like one player's capable, one player's incapable, and it's just boring. But that was actually good. The KD, 193 to 163. Red did have the much greater economy all game. And, you know, blue was a bit faster to the important things. Added the fishing ships, but never really added any farms. Blue had more upgrades, but never added any more docks. Never went for the greater numbers there. But I enjoyed that game. Now, what would be funny is if I look now and see that Faku is playing more. Like, wouldn't that be funny? Oh, no more time. And then he queues up for another game. Oh, and then imagine it's a rematch. And then no, that probably won't happen. I will look, obviously. I'm not crazy. I'm still going to look. Apparently, Red was faster. But I don't necessarily believe... Okay, so overall, maybe Red was. But like, I don't necessarily believe this was the biggest issue. I think that Red made more military, and so it's a bit easier to control if that's the case. And then Red committed more to TCs. So I guess, like, yeah, okay, that does mean faster. But also, I think if Blue just chose to make some different decisions, it would ultimately have led to some of these numbers being higher with the actions per minute. But enjoyable game, enjoyable cast. Islands is always fun. Glad to see that 730 Elo kind of know what they're doing these days, because 2 years ago would have been a completely different experience.